Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. We are only a few days away from CitizenCon, and Zin and I are hyped. Aren't you hyped, Zin?
Yay!
They are. Zin is very hyped. That's a hyped sound. CitizenCon 2953, really close. Obviously, we've got our Alpha 3.21 on the PTU servers as well, which is very heavily quality of life and lots of other maybe sneaky bits in there. And the F8 drama still rages on. And I bring this up because I saw a few content creators and a load of people in the community talking about how annoyed they are that Cloud Imperium are selling a ship that they promised they'd never sell. Have you seen the angers? And have you seen, well, you've just heard me talk about the anger?
I've mostly heard you talk about the anger. I've seen some people make comments, but I mean, can you really be that angry about it?
Well, yes, some people genuinely are. And some content creators are like, CIG, this is the last straw. This is erosion of trust in you. This is them directly lying, breaking promises, stuff like that. Now, there's a video that I recommend people have a look at. Yeah, it's by GoldGot100, and I believe this is almost all of the F8 sort of messaging that's ever been from 2014 all the way to now. Sort of compiled together. And that's very useful, and lots of content creators or other people and whatever have read this and they've gone, yes, see, CIG have said they were never going to sell it and now they're selling it. And I watched it and I went, what? That's not what I hear from this at all.
Yeah.
So I wanted Zin and I to talk about it a little bit. Typically, Zin and I are polarized on certain points, so she'll have a different point of view than me. We did talk very briefly about this before we started, just so I was like, she wouldn't be too surprised if I brought something up. So I listened to this, and what's your takeaway straight away from watching that little video of the history of the F8C and what Cloud Imperium have said about it?
They never said never.
They never said never about selling it.
They never said never about anything, and that might be on purpose.
It feels like it's on purpose. It feels like they're a company which keep on changing their minds and plans keep on evolving. So never say never, right?
Yeah.
And that's my takeaway as well. There were no plans. There were no plans.
There were no plans
with exactly what was going to happen with the ship. What I mean really by that, actually, there was lots of plans. There's lots of plans at lots of different stages that they had going. We want to bring it into the game, or we can't, or we want to do it like this. We want to do it like that, and that kept on changing and evolving. But yeah, they never said they didn't plan on never selling it. In 2015, there was a CIG dev, Travis Day, who was a senior producer at CIG, and he said he wanted to sell it, but internally they're probably going to keep it for Squadron 42. During his conversation with Geek Domo, he said he was talking about it sort of like, oh, people will look at the ship on my screen or whatever, and I show it off and I go, look at how awesome is this ship, but this is the one we're not going to sell. And he said it like that, which I believe 99% of all of they're never going to sell the F8 Lightning, then they're never going to sell the ship has come from, and people saying that CIG has broken their promise. This is from a random interview in 2015, and it was a throwaway comment about someone, sort of anecdote about someone looking at their monitor, and the plan currently being, we're not going to sell it.
In 2015, they had no plans to sell that ship. Yes.
And that's what you should take away from that. And later, in 2015, Ben Lesnick said it would possibly be sold. So it's not as if it's been this long-term thing of it's definitely not going to be sold. However, loads of people, including myself, have repeated the CIG aren't planning on selling it. And that has become CIG aren't selling it. But that's what people have heard, apparently. They did say some other stuff more recently. They said that that the plan was to sell it, or for it to be available and you'd get access it and it would be released when Squadron 42 came out. And when you got to a certain bit in Squadron 42, you'd be able to use that ship, access it in the persistent universe or whatever, because you'd have contacts, you might be able to buy one, you might be able to just use it, whatever. We don't 100% know how that's going to happen, but there's going to be loads of other military gear available in the persistent universe for you once you get to certain parts in Squadron 42. That's a cool little thing, isn't it, Zin?
That's pretty cool, yeah.
It's pretty cool when Squadron 42 finally comes out. But also more recently, they said they were looking at players getting their hands on the F8 Lightning, that it was basically done, and they don't want to wait. They just want it, bam, it's going to be in your hands. But they kept on basically saying that well, we're not planning on selling the ship at the moment. We're not planning on the moment. And that was true. And they are now selling it with the current event. You have to get a golden ticket. There are differentiations and there are different sort of skins for it based on how you got the ship. So Zin was telling me about this as well, or at least reminded me about it. There was Concierge and the high level backers there. Since, is it from 10,000 or 15,000 to get it?
A 10,000 Wing Commander and 15,000 Praetorian.
So yeah, so $10,000 you get the F8C with the Shockwave skin, which they've just released. And then if you are the 5,000 more on that $15,000 level Concierge, which is a lot of money, 10,000's a lot of money, you get the executive version, which has got a cool skin and internal paint job and stuff like that.
Yeah, so from what I can tell, the executive edition is essentially that's how the ship comes.
Yes, it is.
It's not a paint, that's the ship. You could probably put a paint on it afterwards and you'll probably still have the interior.
Are we saying it's technically a new hull? It's technically its own ship?
It's a facelift.
Okay, interesting. I haven't actually ridden one yet. I should go and take the offer of someone that's gone,
yeah.
Have a ride in my very expensive ship. But also, if you get one of these F8Cs through the Platinum tickets, you get an exclusive skin for doing it that way. If you buy it, then you just get a normal F8C with no skin. So Cloud Imperium appear to have gone, look, we do want there to be a level of exclusivity for these skins still. And obviously that's going to lightly annoy potentially some concierge that are like, ha, I've got this ship and you can't have it. But I want it to be out to the people, as it were, and I really like the event they've done with the golden tickets going, you can try the ship for 24 hours. I wish they did that with all ships. And ships, especially when they release them during a, new patch, where you can't get this ship in-game for another 3 months. If you want to buy it in-game, you have to buy it with your money. Give me golden tickets. Give me golden tickets to be able to find and use them for a day. That's cool, right?
Yeah, I think, or even just events that are relevant to the ship. So say you reach a certain level in your salvaging.
Yeah.
And then you get to rent a bigger salvage ship for 24 hours.
Yeah, ships based on reputation, ships based on that sort of stuff. But I always thought that Cloud Imperium were going to sell the F8C. I mean, I put up a poll about it a while ago, saying, "Are you gonna..."
Everybody said no.
Yes. Well, yeah, fair. But it's not the F8A either, because obviously the UEE aren't going to sell their military version of the ship, but there is a civilian version, although it's moderately powerful. It's pretty powerful. Will it be nerfed, the ship? Maybe. Do you think this is going to receive a heavy nerf, the F8?
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's because it's supposed to be a big, powerful ship, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't want all ships to just be able to go, this is the meta. F8C meta for dogfighting. They don't want that. So it's a sort of interesting one. And obviously there are people that will just go, well, actually I can wreck it in a Gladius or an Arrow or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure some people can pretty easily. It's an interesting one, because what's going to happen with the F8C and all other ships is that they're going to go up and down on a cycle as Cloud Imperium add new features, add new components, and balance the game repeatedly. And any time the F8C goes down, people are going to say, CIG are nerfing this. Oh my god, they're the worst. Everyone bought it and now they're nerfing it. And there's a huge amount of sales for the ship. They've made several million in the last few days just from F8C sales, which is, complain about CIG, and if you want, you can complain about their monetization model and say it's predatory or anti-consumer or whatever. It does work, and the game wouldn't exist without it. And some people would say it would exist in a better form without it, but I disagree.
I do think they've done this as a way to get more money, obviously. But I mean...
What? They're selling the ship for more money?
I know, right?
I thought they were selling it because they just wanted to get it in our hands, and there was no other way they could. The people in marketing went, no, you have to sell it. Oh, but we want to...
It's time.
We want to give it away.
They consulted the bones.
They consulted the bones. I don't know what bones are, actually. I've got a variety of tools to help me discern CIG stuff, which is a red phone, a crystal ball, some bones that Zin bought me, and a magic 8 ball, and none of them are on my desk at the moment.
But yeah, so they've obviously not done so well with funding this year.
So
we need a boost.
Whoa. So how bad do you think funding is this year, Zin, out of curiosity?
I don't think it's that bad, but...
They're about...
it would be a worry, surely.
They're about 4 million off. I think it's about 4 million off what they were the previous year.
That's a lot of money.
Is it when they made 110 million the previous year and they haven't had the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo yet?
But they've done a lot of reinvesting.
That is true.
And it's a dangerous place to be when you've done a lot of reinvesting and you're not getting the same income that you were.
It is possible that they thought that the funding is going to be explosive and continue to grow. So that is a possibility. And we don't know exactly how much the new office has cost them, right?
Yeah.
It's a big office. They're hiring a load of people. They are going to want more and more money. They're obviously selling the ship to make more money.
I mean, that's why they sell ships.
That is why they sell ships. It's for their monetization of their game. And I do think that we're going to be having a record-breaking year again this year financially, because I do think the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and CitizenCon are going to be massive, especially the IAE. I'm not sure how financially lucrative CitizenCon is going to be, other than to hopefully just get more people on board with Star Citizen and sort of it sort of helps mainstream the game a little bit more every time they do a good CitizenCon. I just don't understand. Some people's reactions are like, they said they're never going to sell it. Well, they didn't really say that. And I'm okay with Cloud Imperium changing their minds even if they did. It's sort of like, did anyone think they genuinely weren't going to sell it at any point?
It's like, from what I can tell, there was never a sit down in front of a camera and go, this is this ship. We are never going to sell this ship. You can only get this ship by being concierge at these levels, or completing up to a certain point, or doing whatever in Squadron 42.
Well, Chris implied that in his last messaging about it.
Implying is not promising.
Yeah. He said, this is what we plan, this is what we want. Yes, you're right. They didn't go, guys, we need to have a talk, and this is a promise, but it will never break. But I think people see different levels and different parts of CIG's sort of messaging and assume everything they say is a promise rather than everything is subject to change, and that's the current plan.
Well, people thought the bloody roadmap was a promise.
This is my concern with stuff like this, is that Cloud Imperium keep on sort of like getting slapped around. I mean, yes, they're not perfect. They get stuff wrong. They should be held to account where possible for a lot of this stuff, and we should be free to talk about it, whatever. But it feels like CIG sometimes get incorrectly blamed, or it's sort of pushing them to not share anything. Because the best messaging for the F8 Lightning would be like, we're not going to tell you. If they just go, no, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen with the F8 Lightning, then people would be annoyed because they're not sharing enough, and we want an open project. So I want to hear Cloud Imperium's plans, even if they change. That's why I'm pro-roadmap and pro-Cloud Imperium sharing. I don't want them to be in a situation where they feel like they can't share or shouldn't share as much because it's bad for them PR-wise or advertising-wise. Do you think that's fair, Zin, or do you think that they need to be held to a higher account or something?
Yeah, well, no, I agree that they should share what they can, and they shouldn't feel like they're promising things when they know they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also think that they need to get over it. People are going to have problems.
Yep.
You know, you can't please everyone.
Yep.
Just deal with it.
God, I know that.
Yeah.
Can't please anyone. Yeah. So that's, I would say, our final word on it. I'm sure I'll talk about this a load more. And you don't have to agree with me or Zin or whatever. You can say, no, I do genuinely think Cloud Imperium have dropped the ball with this one or whatever. And that's totally fine. You're allowed that opinion. It's a melding pot of sort of communication. And it's sort of super important that it is the sort of Star Citizen project. So feel free to share your comments below. Just be, civil and respect other people's opinions.
Last thing I just wanted to say, and I'm not as affected by this because I don't generally do PvP, but I can kind of understand people's problems with and seeing it as a pay-to-win ship.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't do PvP, so I don't know.
Well, I know a lot of high-level PvP players wouldn't choose the F8 to fight PvP. I think it's probably going to be more focused on PvE, the F8, but that's not necessarily always true. And I suspect that some top level players might actually go, no, actually, I would use the F8. I would use the F8C because of reasons or because of loadouts. I mean, it's tanky as anything. It's got two size 2 shields, which makes it incredibly tanky, that ship. And it's got a load of forward-facing guns. It's not the F8A, though, which is the military version, which Cloud Imperium may have been talking about as well at the same sort of time, that the UE aren't planning on selling that. But you should be able to get them by stealing them or whatever, probably. It's an interesting one. And if you've got any other things to add, in the sort of comments, please chuck it in. I'm willing to listen to other people, and yeah, your voice will be heard to a level. Zin.
Yeah.
Alpha 3.21. That's on the PTU at the moment. Open PTU still. It's been on there for a while. Lots and lots and lots and lots of quality of life improvements, fixes, stuff going into that patch. Obviously, it's subsumed the 3.20.x bits and bobs. And at the moment, you can do the F8 gold and platinum ticket event in there as well.
Okay, cool.
I do believe if you get a platinum ticket there, it counts as you getting an F8 permanently on your account as well. The devs also are flying around in Spirit A1s.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is an interesting way of them saying, have a look at this. So they are in the build, they're just not spawnable by players yet. But if you still want off a dev, cool. But I suppose if you're seeing a dev with one, you might be trying to get a platinum ticket off them, which might be a priority. But yeah, I just thought it's cool. And there's lots of events going on at the moment with Day of the Vara, which the Cloud Imperium are trying to fix because the golden ticket thing overwrote the masks being in boxes, which is a little annoying. So hopefully that will be fixed soon if it's not already. We've got obviously the golden and platinum tickets. I think they just finished, or it's finishing today, or later today, Jump Town. So they're really putting 3.20 and 3.21 through its paces. And 3.21 is on the same 3.20 code base. So hopefully that means we'll have a much more refined 3.21 and lots of quality of life updates. Do you think they're going to release 3.21 to live at CitizenCon? That's what I'm assuming, but is that what you're assuming as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been in PTU for a while now. Mm-hmm. I would assume that it's probably getting to the point where they're like, yeah, this is stable enough, fixed enough stuff. Let's chuck it out. And they're probably literally just waiting for CitizenCon now. I'm
hoping there's going to be a free flight at CitizenCon. So it makes sense that there might be. Do you think we're going to get anything special with those jump point locations or anything like that? Do you think they're going to drop the mic and go, and there's this new cool thing as well in the verse? You can visit Pyro, or there's this cool location, or you can see the jump points like going, ooh, like a gate. Or do you think it's going to be anything like that we can immediately see in game? Or do you think, actually, we've probably seen what 3.21 has to offer already?
I don't think so.
Oh, Zin, no, why? No.
I mean,
I want things.
I definitely don't think we're going to be able to visit Pyro.
Okay.
Even if it's like placeholder Pyro.
Yeah.
I don't think they've even got the jump point mechanics down pat, you know?
But they could have a pretty gate that they go, look, it's all shimmery.
Yeah, but no.
No, you don't think they're going to World of Warcraft this, where they go, there's a gate here and the next area is going to be opening up soon?
No, I think just having the jump points with the infrastructure there is enough.
Okay, yeah. I'm hoping they actually use that at CitizenCon. So they go, well, actually, they're travelling to Pyro, or they're doing a mission in that sort of area.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in our hands in the near future. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, 3.21 is looking pretty good, at least on paper. When they release it, hopefully everything won't explode, because that would be pretty bad. I mean, I know that a lot of the deployments of patches recently over this year have been pretty poor, unfortunately. The actual deployments have been unlucky, I'd say. Lots of stuff breaking. But CitizenCon expectations. So, 21st of October, 5 p.m. UTC. That's when the CIG stream starts. Although I think it's going to be like a countdown and pre-show stuff. And then an hour later, you've got your first presentation. And potentially the longest presentation. So I wanted to talk very briefly about some of these things that are going to be at CitizenCon, we know presentation-wise, and what you think that might be on them, Zin. So we've got Shaping the Verse, the future of StarEngine, from pixel to persistent universe, and everything in between. Join us as we showcase the power and depth of StarEngine, enabling the seamless scale that push our games to the cutting edge of industry, technology, and beyond. And that panel, it looks like it might be the longest panel they have, up to an hour and a half long, probably an hour long. What do you think they could actually show there? Or is that sort of so vague and all-encompassing? That could be a gameplay demo. That could be literally anything. It's hard to know, isn't it?
I mean, StarEngine is literally the engine that it runs in, isn't it?
Yes.
So like, it could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, and they refer to it as from pixel to persistent universe and everything in between. It's literally encompassing the whole game. But is it going to be a gameplay demo? Is it going to be Chris Roberts on stage going, this is what we've created? Is it going to be them saying, look, we've actually entirely broken away from CryEngine and Lumberyard. This is its 100% its own beast now that we could sell. Is it going to be just a sort of look at the cool biomes, look at the cool stuff we can do with the engine, or is it going to be more sort of technical?
I think it's going to be everything in between.
Yeah, and indeed. I suppose they don't want anything to be purely technical for the opening presentation.
Yeah.
It is going to be hopefully a bit of a wow moment. There's then the Fix It and Fly It presentation. Want to get a look at the resource management system in action? Here we showcase an exciting upcoming gameplay role that shakes up the vehicle experience, continues our journey towards multi-crew gameplay, and affects all life in the verse as we know it. So, engineering, right?
Yeah. I mean, there were various engineering roles, weren't there?
Well, yes, there were.
They talked about in the Inside Star Citizen.
They're all the sort of same umbrella, but maintaining the sort of components and optimizing them, running around, making sure that all the new components are in, sort of making sure that you've customized your ship appropriately, and then putting out fires and repairing stuff on the fly. But obviously the resource management system does also incorporate fires and damage control and physical components, and there's just a huge amount of stuff that makes multi-crew actually a thing. Are you excited by engineering and damage control on ships, or you're like, well, yeah, I am, but I'm not going to be doing it?
I'm excited about it. I'm definitely going to give it a go, pardon my language.
Yeah, that's okay. You can bleep it out yourself, mate. Okay, yeah, obviously I want to try a bit of everything. But I mean, I really like damage control, being an engineer, and being a medic. Like, those on my supporting roles, really. I
think it would be great to finally have multi-crew ships that are more than just, I'll have 4 people who could sit in my 4 turrets.
Yeah. And even when you are in those turrets, you still need to be able to think about power management and circuitry of your ship and stuff being powered on and off, and maybe helping out with, or maybe you're sealed in a turret because of a fire and you're having to put out the fire or whatever. It's just, I just, all that sort of stuff, awesome. True multi-crew. That's one of the reasons I got into Star Citizen in the first place, because I was like, the promise of that, I said promise, is sort of exciting.
The idea of that is exciting.
Oh, the promise of that. Next panel is Talking Ship, presenting this year's newly released vehicles with a focus on how lore of the past is shaping vehicles of the future, as well as a look at the pipeline itself and the new methodologies within. So some new ships, some a bit of a ship update. Previously, 2019, they had a Let's Vote on the next concept for them to look at, although they did make all of them eventually of the 4 that they concepted there. So yeah. Ship updates, are you expecting ships to be released then? New ships to be released soon?
Yeah, I think so.
There is a couple that we're
like
expecting.
The A1?
Like the actually, yeah, that's a good point. I suppose they might as well showcase the A1 and some other ships that we've heard about in leaks and rumours are likely to be shown off here as well. And some entirely new stuff that we haven't heard about. Potentially a new concept. Expect a ship sale to start pretty much straight away after that panel. And then we've got Navigating the Universe. Travel with us to the forefront of navigation and take a look at the evolution of UI features that help players view, engage, and interact with their surroundings, offering exciting new perspectives on the Star Citizen universe. So I'm thinking this is going to be, we saw, I think, previous year, the scanning from FPS and being able to interact with objects and tell us about different objects and what we can actually interact with and pathfinding around areas. Do you think it's going to be anything more than that? Do you think we're going to see mini-maps, star map updates, stuff like that as well?
I think it's going to be, because it says evolution of UI features, which is pretty much everything UI.
Yeah.
But we have no real on-foot UI other than your basic stats.
Yeah.
And maybe like HUD markers.
I mean, it could be that they also show us the new Mobiglass. It could be a load of new apps. There could be a ton of stuff included within the UI feature stuff. I'm hoping we get mini maps, star map stuff. Like, that's so essential to Star Citizen and sort of pathfinding navigation tools.
Yeah, I think some pathfinding would be great.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree. There's a lot of time between then and when the venue closing, but obviously there's a physical event. But that's sort of the end of day one, presentation-wise, they've got listed.
I think that time is going to be the ability for people to go and chat to devs and whatever.
Yeah, there could be a lot of stuff happening on the show floor that's not
and other stuff that's going on.
Yeah. And we don't know what time the actual... Because there could be other stuff and videos they show. There could be dev talks just around, that there's no more presentations that day that we're aware of. Unless there's a secret one. People are like, is there going to be a secret Squadron 42 one? I don't know, maybe. That doesn't look like it's not on the schedule. How annoyed would you be if you missed the secret panel because it wasn't on the schedule, eh?
I would be annoyed if there was a secret panel like that.
Yeah, no, right. Okay, day 2. We've got character advancement. We explore the outlaw styles found on the far frontier, the new technologies enabling our next generation of character customization, and the much anticipated arrival of diverse coiffure hairstyles. I can't say that word. I know what it means though, fortunately. What do you think, Sin? Is this just going to be you can lots of more character customization and NPCs look more interesting because they've got better hairstyles and beards, or is it going to be more than that?
No, I think I don't know.
That's fair. You don't have to know.
So they've already done a lot of updates to the character customizer and the DNA stuff they use.
Yeah, it's indeed.
So is this more? Is this expanding it as well? And obviously, I want long hair. When am I going to get my long hair?
Well, maybe here. And I want the ability to have a beard.
Yes. I'm happy
perfect.
being bold. Just give me a beard.
Okay, Zin, I'll remember that. Someone clip that.
Yeah.
Life in first person is the next presentation. Get an up close and personal look of the upcoming major improvements for first person gameplay, diversified combat AI behavior, overhauled weapon handling, and how we're shaping up a more immersive dynamic universe through seamless and tactile interactions. So someone said here that there might be updates coming to StarEngine and that sort of stuff for AI, and they might be showcasing this off here. What do you think is going to be shown? Is it just sort of like literally improvements to first-person gameplay and them running around in first-person going, pew, 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 look how cool we can slide. Oh, look how this, I found a new weapon. Oh, look how cool this is. Yeah. Oh, the AI, they're smart.
Well, I mean, last year they showed off the mantling and ladder climbing and all that sort of stuff. They've improved that. So maybe this is a more in-depth look. This is actually going to be in-game soon sort of look.
Yeah. And last year they showed off the FPS and AI sort of improvements in a Squadron 42 environment. So this could be in a similar way here.
Yeah, but as we know, a lot of stuff's getting developed in Squadron 42 first, so it makes sense that we see it in a Squadron 42 environment.
Yeah, and Chris did say we were at an inflection point where they're going to start to bring Squadron 42 features into the Pacific universe, and we'd see more of that and talk more about that at CitizenCon. And they have said a couple of times that Squadron 42 things are going to be discussed and potentially shown at CitizenCon. I think they said discussed at the very least. Then we've got Taking Flight. We launch into the next iteration of Star Citizen's flight experience and explore impending improvements for every aspect of space and atmospheric traversal, combat, and interaction. So is this just master modes and the evolution of ship combat and stuff? What do you think is going to be shown here?
Yeah, master modes definitely. I mean, they've been testing that on the Arena Commander. Get my word.
Yeah. On the PTU and live builds. Well, at least, so
in Arena Commander,
live. Yeah. And we do know there's like new targeting systems and combat stuff, and there's new surface what they call control surfaces for flying around in atmosphere.
It could also be because they again showed off a little bit of like the new EVA being able to like essentially crawl. I say crawl, but use
push pull. Yeah,
off of structures to actually help you, because that's technically space traversal still.
Yeah, 100%, and interaction with the sort of everything. Yes, that's exactly the sort of stuff they could be showing. That's a very good point. I do think that sort of EVA 2.0 is going to be really change the way people move around, and they're going to have like fuel in their EVA suits and stuff like that as well. So you're going to have to really think about it. Otherwise, you're going to be stranded. Living on the Edge. We delve into living conditions and environments of outlaws and settlers, trying to carve out existence beyond the safety of the UE mega corporations and other confines of the 30th century societies. So, is this just going to be them looking at those points of interest that they've shown around Stanton and around Pyro? So, like the cool forest settlements and that sort of stuff. Is this going to be this, or is this going to be a lot more?
I think, personally, lore-wise, I think it's going to be more Pyro.
Yep.
Because technically, wherever you live in Stanton, that is a UEE system.
Okay.
Even though the planets have been sold and are governed by their own mega corporations, you're still technically in the UEE bubble. Like, that system is declared safe.
Yeah. Fair. I suppose that they do reference outlaws there, so they'll be looking at like Ruin Station and then lots of settlements around other planets. So I think we'll see all of it But yes, I do think you're correct on the fact that it will be most certainly more focused on Pyro. Do you think that we might see a bit of personal habs and base building type stuff talked about here, or not?
I mean, it'd be good if we could.
Yeah, it's a hope.
Yeah.
Destination adventure. From high up in orbit down to the surface of our planets and deep into the underground, we delve into new interactions, missions, and gameplay, and more, coming to the Star Citizen universe on all levels. What's going on with this, and is this just gameplay demo? We're going to show you something cool.
I don't know. I'd say missions and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. It sounds like... It's just because it's called Destination Adventure. It sounds to me like they're going, bam, and this is a cool gameplay demo that we're going to show you. It does sound like it's going to be a mission of some sort that they'll be showing us. I think that's the closest thing we're going to have to a gameplay demo. Although, the future of the StarEngine, that could also include something like that as well, because it's so vague.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And then after that we have a closing ceremony. So hopefully Chris going, hello, thank you for coming, give me money. that sort of stuff. I do like Chris talking about stuff. I know a lot of people think that Chris doesn't talk enough, or that some people think he's not the right person to run the project. I think he should be talking more, and he is the right person to run the project.
I think people are scared when he does talk, because he might put his foot in it, like say something or give the impression that he's promising something when he shouldn't be. So
yeah, people see Chris Roberts' word as the word of God almost, as in everything he says has to come true.
Yeah.
Otherwise you've disproved Chris Roberts, which is, you can't do that because the world will end. Chris, just like any of the other devs at CIG, I see is this is his current plan and this is what he wants to do, and that plan or thing can change. He's like a Peter Molyneux that actually eventually does deliver on his promise. But yeah, that's CitizenCon in a nutshell. I mean, it's quite a big nutshell. It's like it was a very big nutshell. Yes, it was. But I thought people will want to learn, and Zin and I, well, at least I'm very excited for CitizenCon. Zin has to work on the weekend, so not sure how hyped she is for that. How hyped are you, Zin? That's perfectly hyped. Well, on that bombshell, I think I'll leave you there. Tell us in the comments below if you're expecting anything else at CitizenCon, what ships you're expecting. Are you excited for it? Are you going to be watching it live? Are you attending the actual event? Are you going to be watching one of our summary videos, which there will be many coming out as quickly as possible? And we'll see if the CIG videos aren't out of the panels, we'll put out our own cuts of them and things like that as well, potentially. And we'll sort of see what happens there. But tell us what you think in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin. Goodbye, Zin. We'll be putting out a few videos this week, but obviously we are pacing ourselves for CitizenCon. I have no idea what we're going to be putting out. We might be talking about some 4.0 and end of year stuff that there are potentials and sort of cases for and against it, because we don't know what's happening at the end of the year. We don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? Tell us in the comments below. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. What the hell are you? It's nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, enabling you to minimize your presence on the internet, almost like a cloaking device. It also allows you to hunt out the best TV and movies and shopping deals by changing your region. It prevents big internet from gathering and using your personal data. There's even a data breach scanner and meshnet for your own remote private network included. When Zin asked, what's the Predator movie got to do with NordVPN or CitizenCon or Star Citizen, I said, what's any of our NordVPN ads got to do with anything? Grab yourself NordVPN in the links below for a seamless, secure internet experience. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway. For October 2023, we are giving away a Constellation Phoenix. This luxury multi-crew ship can be used as a mission runner, an explorer, a base of operations, and more. It comes with a luxury P-72 Archimedes snub, as well as the Lynx rover, allowing you to have on and off planet excursions. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. This is the bit of the video where I appeal to you to try and join the channel memberships and give us money. We have a load of you that are Patreons or have become YouTube channel members with the join button under my videos, and that goes a huge way in helping the channel and enabling us to make daily Star Citizen news entertainment. But there are a load of other ways to help us: liking, commenting, sharing these videos. That helps the channel grow. Thank you for watching to the end. Please get involved in the comments section, and I hope you have a great October.